Nehemiah 13 and 25. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves.
So Nehemiah was roughing people up all over the Bible. Nehemiah even said on verse, let me give you verse 21. He said, even if I catch you disrespecting the Sabbath, I'm going to put hands on you.
Verse 21. Then I testified against them and said unto them, Why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
What Nehemiah said?
I will lay hands on you.
You tell me it's not a black man's book? You see, don't have to lay hands on you. Wow.
God, pause.
Right? And you ain't want Nehemiah to do that, man. Nehemiah was roughing people up all through the Bible. I don't know.
From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath.
So they even come no more for no more powers on the Sabbath after that. Right? Nehemiah wasn't having it, man. That's a little bad.
This is Genesis 14 and 14. And when Abram heard this, his brother was taken captive. He armed his trained servants.
He did what?
Armed his trained servants.
So Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive. So he armed his trained servants. So he had servants, but they was also trained in skill in martial arts, you know?
Born in his own house.
Right? These are servants born from his other servants in his own house. A lot of people don't let you know how Abraham was really getting down. Read on.
318.
318, right? Read on.
And pursued them unto Dan.
And pursued them unto Dan, right? That's it on that. What verse did we do? 22. No, that ended 22.
Verse 22. And he shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin.
I'm not sure where y'all can find hyssop out here. I've been looking. Hyssop. Hyssop is like a herb. Alright? You're supposed to dip the hyssop in the blood and put it over the door. Right? The Most High casting spells out here. Right? Righteous spells. You know?
And dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the two sides posts with blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning.
Right, so the Most High wanted them to take the lamb's blood that was in a basin, like a bowl, take the hyssop, the herb, dip the hyssop in the blood, and then strike the lintel and the doorposts, right? And that'll be the protection for the whole Passover, right? Read on.
For the Lord Yahweh will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he hath seen the blood on the lintel and on the two sides posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto you, so like it in unto your houses to smite you.
And he said he would not suffer the destroyer to come in. So the Most High himself sent a destroyer. Who's the Most High's destroyer? Who's that man in the back that calls out? Who you said? Yaquab? Yahushua. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, man. Let me get Matthew's 10 and 34. For the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, the Bible calls it the destroyer. And someone else give me Wisdom of Solomon, I think 15 and 8. I'm trying to keep track of time, so what time is it?
10:16.
10:16?
10:34.
Yeah, 10 and 34.
Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
So Christ, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, the Hamashiach, Yahushua, right? He said, think not that I come to send peace on earth. But I thought God loved everybody. He said, think not that I come to send peace on earth, you know?
I came not to send peace, but a sword.
But a what?
But a sword.
But a what?
But a sword.
So if the Father's a man of war, how do you think the Son is? He said, think not that I come to bring peace on earth. He said, I came to rattle these birds up, man, shake their cage. I come not to bring peace, but a sword, man. Right? Who got wisdom of Solomon?
Wisdom of Solomon 15 and verse 8. And employing his labors lordly, and he maketh vain a vain God of the same clay, even he which is a little before was made of earth himself, and within a little while after the returneth to the same out when his life which was lent him shall be damned.
That's not what
Or demanded.
That's not what Yeah, but that's not what I was thinking about. Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon 15 and verse 15. For they counted all the idols of the heathen.
We counted all the idols of the heathen, you know?
To be gods.
To be what?
To be gods.
We counted all the idols of the heathen to be gods.
Which neither have the use of eyes to see, nor nose to draw breath, nor ears to hear, nor fingers of hand to handle. As for their feet, they are slow to go.
They are what?
Slow to go.
They are slow to go, right? These are not real gods, right? So he sent down a real God to kill them. Right? Right? You want to read that? All right, read on.
Verse 24. And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance.
For what?
For an ordinance.
Right? Serve this thing for ordinance. Read on.
To thee and to thy sons forever.
For how long?
Forever.
So he also reiterated again in the same chapter, he wants you doing this forever, man. The Most High treated you like you remedial. Right? Read on.
And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service.
Read on.
And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what meant ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head in worship.
God. The people, what they what?
Bowed the head in worship.
And that's how you got them, right? Because the Most High makes you fear him first and foremost. The Most High God wants you to fear him first and foremost. You know why? Because he wants you to listen to what he says. He wants you to pay attention to what he says. That's why he puts fear in you first, right? If somebody puts a gun to your head, you hear exactly what they say. When your parent is spanking you, you better not do this again. You listen to what the hell they say, right? So the Most High God first wants you to fear him. All right, you know?
And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat at his throne, unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon.
So read that one more time, huh?
Salakia. Verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
He smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt right at midnight, right? He killed every one of them simultaneously. You know?
From the firstborn of Pharaoh
From the firstborn of Pharaoh, you know?
that sat on his throne,
So even a man on the throne, his firstborn was killed, you know?
unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon.
Even the dude doing time in the dungeon, the Most High killed his firstborn. straight cold. Straight cold cheese like that. We'll just say anybody you get. Right? Read on.
And all the firstborn of cattle.
And all the firstborn of their cattle. So you had yourself a nice horse. You said, man, this firstborn horse, man, I'm about to win a bunch of races with this horse. Most High just killed that damn horse. Right?
God.
No, that's it dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's over for that horse. Most High wasn't playing, man. Read on.
And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
What verse was that?
Verse 30.
Verse 30? Alright. Read verse 30 again. I did not.
Book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
There was not a house that there was not one dead. You know?
And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people.
So now he calling Moses like, yo, what the hell just happened? Yo, get out of here. Leave, go. You want to be so bad? Go, get out. I don't want you around me no more. You're bringing death. My dog died. My son died. I don't know what's going on. Right? Read on.
Both ye and the children of Israel,
You and your people, get out. Read on.
and go serve the Lord Yahweh, as ye have said.
Go serve your God. Whatever. I don't care no more. Get away from me. Read on.
Also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone.
And be gone, right? He wanted them to be gone, right? Read on.
And bless me also.
And do what?
Bless me also.
He said that's a blessing to me for you going, right? I'm blessed now, man. Get out of here, man. Because you got to understand, Moses turned his waters to blood. He caused the plague of locusts, like the plague of locusts and roaches that just hit Mecca. You know what I'm saying? He caused a plague of roaches and locusts to hit them, man. He caused blackness to go over Egypt. People were seeing strange admirations in the darkness. You understand? So he just said, man, that was the last straw. Y'all just go. I don't want y'all free labor no more. I don't want nothing from you. Just go. Right? We on?
Verse 33. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people.
And they were what?
Urgent upon the people.
They were urgent upon the people. Y'all get ahead, man. Get out. Read on.
That they might send them out of the land in haste.
They send them out of the land in haste, right? Read on.
For they said, we be all dead men.
They said, we don't want to be all dead men. We don't want to have these people call upon their God again and we all die next time. Because that's got to be crazy. You run out of your house like, my firstborn son just died. And then somebody run out and said, me too. You're like, what? Like, what? That's crazy. They said, nah, get these Hebrews up out of here, man.
Cattle, everything.
They're the cattle and everything, man. Right? Your favorite chicken just died. Right? Read on.
Verse 34. And the people took their dough before it was leavened.
And they took their dough before it was leavened. That's why we celebrate with unleavened bread. Read on.
Their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders.
Read.
And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses.
We did according to the word of Moses. Moses gave the orders from the Most High, and they followed. Right? It was an order at that time. Read on.
And they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold.
They did what?
Borrowed from the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold.
Somebody say no black people, but we'll sell it. You hold that. You hold that, son. I'll give it back. You know that old trick, you know what I mean? You hold that. Right? You know it?
And raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians.
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. He was like, yeah, just take what you want. Go ahead. Right? Read on.
So that they lent unto them such things as they required.
Right? They lent unto them. I don't know if they gave it back, but they lent unto them whatever they required. Right? Read on.
And they spoiled the Egyptians.
And they did what?
Spoiled the Egyptians.
They robbed the Egyptians. Right? Read on.
And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to sackcloth, and 600,000 on foot that were men beside children.
Besides what?
Besides children.
Read on.
And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
Read.
And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt.
Right? They had no leaven, they had no yeast at the time. That's why we celebrate with unleavened bread. Read on.
For it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt.
They were thrust out of Egypt. They said, hurry up and go, man. Hurry up and buy. Right? They chased them all up out of there. Right? Read on.
And could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual.
Right? What verse is that?
That was 39.
39? That's it.
Verse 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day it came to pass, that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. Verse 42. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations.
In their generations, again, the Most High said he will shoot all your generations to celebrate tonight. Read on.
Verse 43. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover.
This is the what?
The ordinance of the Passover.
It's the ordinance of the Passover, right? Read on.
There shall no stranger eat thereof.
There shall no stranger eat thereof. So if a white boy would have came strolling through that door, he would have got escorted out.
That's
Right? Read on.
But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof.
So when he talks about servants that's bought for money, because it's a custom of our culture, if a man get in debt, he works off his debt for probably 7 years in the year of Jubilee. You said?
Leviticus 25 and 35. And if thy brother be waxing poor, and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee.
You see that? So if your brother wax poor, right, and he can't get his money up, if he be a stranger or a sojourner, a person that's not born in the land, or a person that's just walking through your land, because we had different lands for different tribes. I say I'm from the tribe of Benjamin, and I stumbled upon the land of Zebulon, and I got no money on me. I'm gonna get my money up. I'm gonna just go work for my brother. Right? You know?
That was it all.
Was it all that? Right. So
But
that's
also
what,
showing we strangers too. Israel can be called a stranger and still an Israelite. And a sojourner. It don't have to be either.
yeah, that's how it depends on the context. Right? Read on.
Verse 45. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof.
A what?
A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof.
So a foreigner. So let's say Jackie Chan walks through here. Sorry, Jackie. No chopsticks allowed. Get escorted out. Right? Read on.
Verse 46. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh abroad of the house.
You see, you should not carry the flesh abroad out the house. The Most High don't want no doggy bags. Y'all brothers gotta eat up. Y'all sisters gotta eat up. Read on.
Neither shall ye break a bone thereof.
Right? Read.
Verse 47. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it.
Read. That's verse 47. That's it on that, right? Go ahead, Al.
Exodus 12 and 48. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised.
Right? The Most High want all the males to be circumcised if they're keeping the Passover. Right? Read on.
And then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof.
So the Most High said, if even if you're Israel, he wants you to be circumcised while you're keeping his Passover. Okay? Read on.
One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that is sojourn among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses, and Aaron did so. So did they. And it came to pass the same day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. Exodus 13, verse 1. And
That's it. That's it on that. That's it on that. That's the Passover. God?
God.
So, everybody, stay in your seats. I need a couple volunteers to give everybody a cup of wine, right? A bit of herb, and a piece of lamb. And a piece of unleavened bread. Bit of everybody?
I don't know.
Y'all want to take some seats?
Water, King. Thank you, bro.
Not yet. Yeah, be standing. Standing. Where your staff's at? You go to staff on?
Nah, I ain't really checking.
Bring your staff. You got an extra staff?
Do you want the wine glasses?
I could say 0 staff. We got some bamboos over there.
What's up? What's up? Grab a little stash from here, man.
Come.
Big green.
Right there. Yeah, come on.